Yes, Wes, 2-0. Disappointing result. I said this a million times. A great opportunity for Spurs to sort of get some bragging rights to maybe put in a statement performance, but pretty much did the exact opposite. So give me your initial thoughts on the game.
Initial thoughts is this is from top to bottom a poor game. One of the really, said this probably a lot already this season, but it's one of the poor performances I've seen this season. And I mean, really, that goes really almost down to everybody that was on that pitch today,
Hmm.
including Conte. With his decision making, with the substitutions being very late. But I understand he came up saying later that a lot of the players are just coming back that he did put out there. He doesn't want to risk even further injuries to hurt the team. So I
True.
understand where he's coming from. He's pretty much what he's saying is he's pretty much tied. His hands are tied right now because of the World Cup coming up. A lot of players probably. You know what I feel. I feel like a lot of these players are holding back because of the World Cup. I felt like that's the reason.
Mm.
Because I swear to God, Son and Kane didn't do half of what they were supposed to do. I feel like Son was getting kicked off the ball too easy. Kane very slow and lethargic. It's clear it's either they're buying past time just to get to the World Cup and finish that out. I feel, but it's
Do
a
you
poor
feel like
performance.
do you feel like it was, Conte only had one game plan available to him going into this one? Because I'll be honest, I think the 3-5-2 did make sense, it considering the injuries and everything that he had,
Agreed.
to choose. But what went wrong with the 3-5-2, do you feel like today, Wes? Because we've seen the 3-5-2 work before. We saw it work against Leicester. We saw it put in a decent performance against Brighton. It got the job done against the likes of Everton. It, won the game for us in the second half. So what are your thoughts on, the 3-5-2 and maybe
It,
what went wrong
to
today?
me, I think it was one of the better formations we could do against Manchester United. But I feel like
Yeah.
Manchester United, they just set the way they set up their team and that their players just played with a whole lot more energy. They passed the ball a whole lot quicker. If you saw how they passed the ball around the box on our end, they were passing a whole lot quicker. They pretty much were doing what we've been screaming for our own players to do. And they did that. And they did that. They deserved to win the game. They deserved to go up 2 goals. I'm glad it was only 2 goals because very much possibly in the first half could have been already three down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just mentality. It's mentality and energy. And when you're playing a 3-5-2, you're relying a lot on the midfield by that point. And the
You're
midfield for
relying on
us
the
played
energy from the
horrible.
midfield, right?
Yeah, and our midfield played horrible. I mean, I don't understand how we can't pass. I don't know how they got to this level. How do you get to the Premier League level where you call yourself a Premier League player? You get paid pretty much over at least 60K,
Yeah.
like almost a week. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
or even more because you got players who are getting over 100K
Yeah.
a week, and you can't pass the ball 10 yards.
Did it feel like, there wasn't really any midfielder? I asked this to Ollie earlier, Wes, and I'm asked the same thing. Do you feel like just Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Basuma collectively, just each of them were just disappointing, or did you think one was worse than the other, or were they just kind of like I just asked, like just collectively just all poor, like it doesn't matter, they were just all just kind of bad? What are
I
your thoughts?
think
Or was one maybe letting down the others kind of situation?
I think really I think Hoiberg for me probably had the more worser
Yeah, it
performance.
wasn't his best.
I didn't see him do anything really special at all. Bentancur to me was the most trying. He was up
Hmm.
the field. He was up the pitch a lot, trying to get something to happen, but just nothing was connecting. Or Son and Kane again weren't doing anything, or they wasn't making that run that they usually make, that hard run. They weren't doing that kind of. They wasn't doing those. They wasn't like Kane wasn't holding the ball hard, trying to really keep up with the ball. He kind of like if he got flensed off even by like a little push or anything, he would just lose the ball, just like Son. So it came down to mentality, and
Hmm.
Manchester United had the mentality over us. But in Basuma, I feel like he just rode the wave. I feel like I think in his mind, he's like, I done got to starting, but he's trying not to do anything crazy, crazy, so he won't lose his spot. And then,
Maybe
like,
after
say
the
he,
West Ham game where he had
yeah,
almost too much energy.
yeah, like, say he, like, you had times where you thought, like, you would think he would have just ran forward and just went with the ball, but you see, he was very conservative. So I feel like because of how many jobs Conte gives his midfielders to do, and the specific stuff that he wants them to do in the game plan. I feel like that's hitting his head a little
Mhm.
bit too much, and it's not letting him play free. And that may be the reason why he's scared to go outside of position or whatever to do what he needs to do to affect the game. And I think
You're
maybe
probably
one of
right.
the other coaches maybe have to get in his ear and tell him, "Hey, you can do that. Don't worry, I got your back. But if you see opportunity, take it." But I feel like in his head, he's like, if I do something stupid and it leads to breaking a goal, it's going to be seen on him, and then you're going to see him back on the bench. I feel like that's how he's pretty much
I think
feeling.
he was guilty also of kind of what you were saying about the sort of like couldn't make a 10-yard pass. Like
Yeah,
I
that he was.
remember
Yeah, he was
Basuma.
guilty of that too.
It
All of
wasn't the
them.
passing. It was with Basuma. There like through I think it was 4 times in a row where he just gave it away with his first
Yeah,
touch at
that's
one
just
stage, and
a
it
lot
was
of
one
a
of
lot of hard touches. A
yeah.
lot of hard touches.
And
I
that's where
mean,
I sort of think I don't know what you think, even though I agree, I don't think Højbjerg covered himself in any
no,
glory, and in fact, the guy who kind of we've been relying on this season, let's be honest, you wanted him to step up in that game because we've been relying on him so far this season, but I sort of thought me personally, Wes, this is just my opinion, but I kind of thought kind of the whole midfield just let us down today,
yeah,
just the whole
yeah,
midfield.
yeah. Like, overall, the whole midfield let us down because that's the whole point of the 3-5-2. Like, with having them 3 men in midfield, they're supposed to dictate the creativity
They're
to
supposed to win
lead
us
to
the game.
breaks. Yeah, they're supposed to lead us to chances and everything with their playing. They're being extra man in the midfield, and just the thing is, like, the hard touches, the
Yeah,
passing not being on point. Nobody wanted to go at the Manchester United players at all. Didn't see really
yeah,
just no play of somebody taking the ball, just going at the defender, making them be on the heels. Just nobody did that. It was very complacent, very slow, very lethargic. I hate that kind of body language. Whenever I see that kind of body language, I always get scared because
yeah.
body language tells you everything, and their body language
Mhm.
is very slow and I call it joggy when a player just jogs around when we're getting attacked
Yeah, Dave
at the
was
box
saying
and
we
they're
looked
jogging
very
around.
joggy out there, you're
Yeah,
right.
we were jogging, and whenever that happens, that means the mentality is off. They're not on their crap today, and they're not trying to bleed for the shirt and bleed for the
Mhm,
badge, and
mhm.
that just already lets you know what the performance is going to be.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and, I kind of agree if the mentality is off in the midfield and if the jogging is in the midfield, I mean, we're not gonna win
That's
this
it.
game because we've
No,
gone for the 3-5-2. Are there
I
any
mean,
other players yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was going to just say for Manchester United, like, look at what Fred was doing. Fred was like almost playing center field, a center forward player, being up top, like making sure he was pressing. Like, none of our midfielders were really doing it, but you can kind of say Bentancur was trying, but of course he get caught out every single time. And then even the 50-50 balls, that's another thing that
We were
tells
losing
you if
those.
we're going to win the game or not. 50-50 balls, we
Yeah,
were losing pretty much every single time. I mean, they were right
yeah,
on it, and we were just very lethargic on all of it. And that just dictates what
yeah.
the game is going to turn out to be, sadly.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about the 50-50s and, the game in which we won 6-1 against Man United, I remember,
Yep.
I think it was, Kuva said the reason we won that game or it wasn't Kuva, I think it was Ribsy that said the reason we won that game was because we won all our 50-50s and that,
Yep,
everything
that's
went our
exactly what
way,
we did.
where
We were on
today
top
was
that
the
day.
opposite.
Yeah, we were on top that day. We were going after every 50-50. And the mentality was just there. The same thing when we played when we beat Man City these last couple times. Our mentality is there. We had a determination to go at them and just do whatever we need to do to make sure we get a result. And that's what we have to
Mm,
have in every game.
I like that. Really good point there. Conte's substitutions and
Oh,
decisions or
Jesus.
lack thereof. I mean,
Oh,
all the
Jesus.
substitutions came in the 80th minute. How soon do you think he should have change things up, or how soon should he have gone for a substitution?
So, at halftime, we were talking about that 15-minute rule, right? That went out the window after the first goal.
And we did that
That
against the
goes out the
Scum,
window.
though. We
Yeah,
did it against the
that
Scum.
goes out the window after the first goal. So after that, he should have already been thinking, okay, I may need to at least put one person in, at least
Sure,
one
sure.
person in, at least. He decided to know. I guess he feels just the quality of what we have right now and just the health factor of what the players we have on the bench. Because I have to be honest with you, I like our bench way better than what we had the last 2 seasons. I
Hmm.
like every single player that was on our bench today, and I would put them out there if the chance came. I don't have like there's not one player I'm like, okay, no, don't play him at all. Every single one of those players, I'm fine if they came out there, because I know I've seen them do the job for us before. But the problem is, I guess Conte in his mind, he's thinking health, and he's thinking their impact is just not going to be significant because they are just not on form, most of them, and a lot of them are pretty raw. Like Hill, Spence, I guess is what he feels. This is pretty much what he feels about Spence. They're raw talent, and a little bit of Skip, a little bit because he looks a little bit out of sorts when he is out there. But he's just coming back from a major injury, just like Doherty. But Doherty played a whole lot
Yeah.
better today. To me, he just wasn't able to be effective because Sonny Kane wasn't effective. Um,
Mhm.
it's just I hate that he decides to do substitutions at like the 80th minute because that pretty much means the game is over
Do you
when he
think he
finally does
lost the
make
game by
changes.
not making it sooner then, basically? Simple question. Did it
Who
lose us
knows?
the game? Because we did go 1-0 down, and I agree, like, he can't do anything about that, going 1-0
Yeah,
down. Yet again, we show that lack of a backbone, that lack of a strong will, like you were saying earlier. But once he is 1-0 down, like, he's gotta maybe change something in order to get back into the game, which is unfair to him. It seems
yeah,
unfair,
this.
but
That's why I
do you
mentioned all
think
the other
I
ones.
think he ended up losing us the game. It's not his fault he got 1-0 down, but he ultimately, I think, lost us the game by not making any changes kind of really at all until
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you have to do something at least, but I feel like even if those players came out there, I feel like nothing really probably would have changed. I think we would have been a little
The
bit
the
more
the
just
mood, the vibes were that
yeah,
off.
it's just that he asked for so much with his specific formations that if those players don't get that yet, and clearly when they've been
Yeah,
remember when we changed out that whole lineup and then our quality went all the way down because they just don't understand where they're supposed to be positionally, and that's what just
seriously.
kills him. I think he's scared about hey they just don't know where they need to be or they don't know what to do on this situation just yet. And I think that
Uh-huh.
it has a lot to do with tactical type stuff for him. I think.
100%.
And I
Think that's
feel I
good.
feel like he just don't feel if he puts them out there and he probably wants to put them out there. It's just that the quality just go down overall from the whole team because somebody is out of position or they made
Mm,
the wrong awareness decision, stuff like that with him. I noticed that a lot with how he manages that he goes a lot on tactical, a lot.
yeah. Yeah, and it's a major facet for him. You're absolutely right, Wes. Give me that final message for Spurs fans, something they should take away from this fan cam, and then also tell us about the YouTube channel as well and the Twitter where they can find more of you. And a lot of people have really been enjoying your fan cams as well, Wes. So please give it a good plug. But give us
Yeah,
that final message and tell us where they can find more of you.
it's only because y'all guys let me on all the time, and that's what I appreciate for you guys the most. That's why I love this channel. Um, for me, I think what we should take away for this game is that we're just gonna have to push forward with this. We got like a whole bunch of games in just a short amount of time, and that's probably another reason a lot of these players been playing every game almost pretty much. I know they're probably tired. There's no way they're not, and that's probably another reason. Maybe just energy is just going down naturally. And you can do all the training things in the world, you're still human at the end of the day. And, there's only so much they can just keep running and running and running that hard in that kind of level of Premier League level. And then playing Champions League football at that, it's crazy. I think if we played it ourselves, then we would probably realize more as fans. But I don't think we realize how hard it is to play in those type of leagues and then do it multiple games like that. So I think fans need to
Yeah,
understand that. And we just got to keep pushing. We only lost two games, two losses in the league. That doesn't mean we're out of the box yet, where we should be pulling our hair or anything. But it does a little bit of a wake up call that
yeah,
he may need to come up with something until Kulusevski and Richarlison and see what happens with him.
yeah,
But you can follow me
yeah.
on Twitter, West the King. Of course, my YouTube channel. I haven't been able to post a whole lot yet, but I will. So I mainly tell people to just follow the Twitter.
Just check them out, people. And I would say just at least support them. At least just, let those numbers go up. Want to see more followers of them. Want to see at least just some numbers on YouTube. Even if there is nothing up there, just at least show him some love. He's given this channel a lot of his time. He's helped this channel a lot as well with a lot of these videos he's put out as well. So please show Wes some love. But that'll be all for now for the fan cam, everybody. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we try.